All right, so today I'm going to be speaking about Dubai's biggest scammers when it comes to real estate, and that is UK banks. Okay, so hopefully you're watching this a couple of days before you're going to make the decision on a unit, or you've just maybe started researching Dubai real estate, and maybe this is basically I just don't want you to do this at the last hour. I don't want you to see this video at the last minute. Hopefully you're watching this a little bit before so that you have time to explore from what I'm going to say. Any of these banks that you might use, I'm not going to name them, but you know which ones they are, and whether it's UK or Europe or US. They're going to have extravagant charges and fees when it comes to international payments. So that's what we're discussing today. For international payments, it is something that you have to do. There are some things which are normal about it. There are some things which you just have to deal with, and there are ways to leverage and profit out of it. So that's what we're going to talk about. First of all, scam warnings are completely normal. So when your bank says, we think this is a fraud and we think this is a scam, that's completely normal. You're going to have to fight with your bank sometimes. And in no way is this a sign from the universe that you shouldn't buy. I know some of you are spiritual and some of you think this, I found the perfect, thing to help me. But that would be the case if this was only happening to you, but it's not. It's happening to every second, third buyer of mine, and they get a scam warning. The bank might freeze your account. The bank thinks this is too fishy because a lot of scams do happen, and people get scammed into thinking maybe some properties too dirt cheap, and all the money goes into some random account in whether here or somewhere else entirely, and some people are just they fall victim to all of this, so which is fine. That's nothing to do with this transaction, which is an authentic transaction that you're proceeding to do. So when you're at that stage, so this is going to be completely normal. Don't worry about it. Don't get anxious. Deep breaths. And there are some things which you can do to make sure that you are not giving a massive profit margin to your own local bank out in the UK or Europe, wherever it is. There are some websites which are like online wallets, and these companies have done better tie-ups and better deals with local banks across certain countries. And some of them, this is particular to UK and Europe, which I am certain of, and my buyers are using these on a day-to-day basis. I'm just going to name 3-4 of them. I have no affiliation with either. There's wise.com or the Wise app. Either it is Revolut, there's xe.com, and there's Currencies Direct. So these are the 4 that I know people do use. The most popular one is Wise. I've used it myself, and the process is fairly simple. What you need to do is, ideally, if you have the time for it, download all 4. Just download the apps, sign up, give your documents and address, etc., whatever information they need, your passport, etc., and then make sure you're signed up on all, and then take a case study example of the same time, same day. What you need to do is go on Wise app. Now you're signed up, everything's good to go. Take any of, ask me for a bank account of any random developer, just so that you can get the quotation. In some apps you need it. In Wise, I don't think you do. But let's say you go on it and you press, I want to send £10,000, or take the example of £100,000, whatever it is. Do that as a case study on Wise, then do it on Revolut, then do it on XE, and then do it on Currencies Direct. And if you're bored, do it with your own bank as well, and check how many dirhams is that destination account going to get. Don't press send, obviously, but check how many dirhams, who is giving you the most amount of dirhams. That's what you need to do before you think of closing on a unit, ideally, so that all your transactions are happening this way at all times. Most of the times, in my experience, Wise has been better off in the rates and the fees, but you do your own research. You don't listen to me. I'm just a random guy on YouTube. So download all 4. If there's any other that try that as well. Once you've done your research at one time, and whatever user interface is better for you, stick to that. You can always go and check that, after 3 months when your payment is actually due, which one's giving you a better rate. So this is the process you need to be aware of and do. If you like spending more money, go with your bank. If you feel safer that way, then no one has a problem with that. Now, there are 2 things about international payments, 2 more things that you should be aware of. Let's say you've now bought the property. Okay, you have a payment due in the next, let's say 6 months or the next month or 3 months, whenever the payment is due, make sure that you're paying 5 days before the payment is due. So let's say the payment is due 31st of May. You're going to make that transaction 24th to 25th. Why? Because let's say that day, let's say you're using your bank in this case, and your bank says, you know what, we're not going to allow it, we're going to freeze your account. So give yourself a day or two for the next day. What if it's the weekend you're paying on? So give yourself 5-6 days before to allow for any contingencies like this. And also your money takes 2 to 3 days to reach. So I don't want you to get any late payment fines or penalties from any of these developers, even though some of them I can get them waived off, but I don't want to use my relationships and friends for this small work, please. I would prefer you don't put me in that position and pay 5-6 days before it is actually due. Now, ideally, I'll go over the next thing I'm about to say in a much more detailed 1 hour conversation, which is about the payment plan. And if it's out, it'll be somewhere here. But whatever your payment plan is, ideally, you do not want a 1% monthly payment plan if you're in the UK, Europe, anywhere, or India. Ideally, stay away from it because you have zero control when it comes to 1% payment plans. If your payment is due every month and your currency is struggling very hard, you have no choice. The price actually in this transaction doesn't matter to you because you don't know what the price of the property will be in pounds or in euros. You don't know the price until you take the key. So until the last day, because the currency is fluctuating, when you take the key, now you can go back in time and do the whole calculation on an Excel sheet that I sent these many pounds and these many euros for this much, and that's my total due with the transaction fees, etc. So you don't know the price really in these transactions. The exact price. So what you do is you allow yourself a payment plan, ideally, which gives you 3 months or 6 months or 1 year, ideally, of no payments. So you pay the deposit, the next payment is due after 3 months or 6 months or 9 months or 10 months or 12 months. That means now you've got a gap. And in this gap, what we're going to do, because this is not your job, but this is my job. Now, my job is to speak to British people and Europeans on a daily basis. So that means on a daily basis, I know what your pound is worth. You don't have to get up in the morning and check the pound every day. I do it on your behalf. And then if you bought from me, I'm obviously going to add you to that group of broadcast list, and I'll make sure you are aware that your pounds or your euros are worth more, which is the case right now as of filming this video, because thanks to Donald Trump. But you have more dirhams per pound right now, making this a great time to buy. Or if you've already bought before, this is a great time to send some extra cash. So now that I don't have any, in this example, I've paid my deposit, let's say 2-3 months ago, my next payment is due after 6 months. But the pound is doing really well today, not after 6 months. I don't know after 6 months what the pound is going to be. So what I'm going to do is, my payment, let's say, is 10% is due. I have to pay this anyway. What I'm going to do is, maybe I don't have the 10%. No one's going to penalize you for sending money early. So you can send money, a little bit, whatever you've got saved up early to take benefit of what your pound or your euro or your dollar is paying, but pound or euro or INR is worth, whatever it is. That's why you should go for those payment plans, but I'll do a different video on that in much more detail. But yeah, so this is this is called leveraging currency days. So there are certain days when your currency is doing really well, and this is something you can do. Now, I believe on xe.com, out of the 4 I mentioned, you can hold on to, let's say, X amount of pounds, let's say 100,000 pounds, by paying a deposit of 20,000-30,000 pounds into the app or into the website. And that means you've paid 20,000-30,000, but you've blocked the rate on 100,000 worth of dirhams, 100,000 pounds worth of dirhams on the website for the next 6 months or 1 year or something like this. So that means you've blocked 100,000 pounds at a higher rate. Now the rate could go up, down, doesn't matter. You've got a good rate. And you didn't put all your money there. So that's one thing to look into. Wise also has AED accounts. So that means you can open up a GBP account and an AED account. So let's say your pound is doing really well today. You move your pound into that AED account, and check, on the savings account if they have any in AED. If they don't, whenever you're coming to Dubai, go open a free bank account. Or I think it's not free, it's some fees. Go to Emirates NBD in Dubai Mall, go somewhere, open up a non-resident bank account immediately so that you can transfer yourself some cash on these currency days. So one more thing I forgot to mention, just make sure you're transferring 30 to 40 dirhams extra on each payment. Because when your money lands in Dubai, it goes to a correspondent or intermediary bank. So that intermediary bank takes your pounds and gives the developer the dirhams. So in the middle, they charge 30 to 40 dirhams, case to case basis, usually 30 dirhams from the developer. So the developer gets 30 dirhams less than what your Wise or Revolut is showing you, that how much is going to reach the developer's account. They're going to receive a little bit less, so 5-6 pounds. Add 5-6 pounds each time. Again, this is why stay away from the 1% payment plan, because every month 1% you're adding on to the fees, charges, every single thing, and you can't control the currency. So this is all you need to know about international payments. It's not that hard if you're not, because this is what happens when you leave things up to the last minute. The bank's going to freeze your account, bank's going to say this is scam, Nick's trying to scam you, or some developers, we don't know if this is developers real, or we've had reports of scams. This is normal. There's not a reason not to buy. Happening with everyone. It's not some sign from the universe. So that's the only thing. Relax, stay calm. It's a very normal process because we've been doing this for a long time. You're in safe hands. All right?